Well, good day everybody. It is time for an update on our Mazda 3 Sedan. We have been racking up the miles. We're a little over 10, well actually at 11,000, and we've been 6 months in. So a few things have gone down since that first intro video. We've gone through those hot summer months. We've also had our first dealer service experience, and we're tracking a few little nitpicky things. So before we get started, just a huge hearty thank you for pushing on this video today, and check out all of our other content. And if you like what you see, consider subscribing. Us small YouTubers could really use your support. So let's just jump right on in. Yeah, just real quick, one thing I want to cover is, since we did go through some 100-degree days back in the summer, I wanted to give a little bit update on this air conditioning system. For some reason, I was a little nervous about how this would work. I don't know why. I know our old Volkswagen GLI had a superb air conditioning system, but I'm happy to report that this AC worked wonderfully during those hot months. It actually cooled the car down very, very well. I know this sedan has a pretty small interior passenger volume. You know, it's smaller than, say, something like the hatchback. So maybe it works a little bit better in the sedan. I'm not quite sure. Check out James Doe's video. I'll leave a link in the description down below. But he took a CX-30 out to the desert and stress tested. So I love videos like that. So check out James Doe's video on his air conditioning test in extreme conditions. So overall, very, very pleased with the air conditioning in here. Now, a nice surprise though in the hot summer months was these leather seats, these red leather seats. They're perforated. Never did they ever get hot or sticky, which was a very, very nice surprise. They cooled down pretty fast, and it was never a time where I was driving where I'm like, oh, my back just feels so hot and sticky. So that was actually something I was, again, a little bit concerned about, but happy to report that no issues there at all. Now, we are still loving this interior on the 3. It is definitely a sanctuary type of interior. You can just get in and get away from the world. However, the only real quality issue, and it's not really quality, is just that this connection between the back of the seat and the bottom keeps slipping off this little track. So I keep putting it on, and then somebody will kick it and it pops back off. But other than that, the interior still remains awesome, and really no complaints about it at all. You know, now that we've entered the cooler months, we're using the remote start on the app. Now, I was a little frustrated that the remote start did not come on the key fob. You do have to use this Mazda app, and you know, I'm a little bit warm to it now, especially when you're sitting at the kitchen table and you just want to start your car and you don't want to have to go get in line of sight with the key fob. And you know, it does work well. I've never had it fail. It does always work pretty fast. You know, right now this is a free thing Mazda gives new owners, and supposedly they're going to charge me for it in a few years, and I'm just going to say right now that that is not cool, especially given how much data Mazda is gathering off of this app about their owners. You know, the other day I even got an ad in this app. So, you know, I don't know, Mazda. Let's not charge for this. You know, I know this subscription based for features for subscriptions. Some car companies are, you know, they're trying that out, but you know, Mazda, you're just too cool for that. So let's not do that. Now the seat heaters will come on if you have the right settings, depending on this temperature and how cold the cabin is. And yeah, the seat heaters do work well, but usually you just have to go manually control them. If you let the car do it, it's always leaves you a little wanting. Now, real quick on fuel efficiency. So far, per our pump fill-ups, we're averaging about 33 mpgs, and that's pretty much in mixed driving, maybe a little bit shy towards highway, but pretty much just suburban type driving around. So really, really happy with the fuel economy. Again, fuel economy performance equation. Yes, this isn't the highest mileage car out there, but when you consider the performance, it's doing really, really good. Now on our trip computer, this last tank, it's showing right now we're doing about 32.4. I have found this gauge to be a little bit optimistic, maybe by about 1 mpg. Now, as far as overall driving, still continue to love to drive this
Mazda 3. Still appreciate the engine, and everything I've said in all the other review videos and our first long-term update still stands. I've actually grown to appreciate the handling even more. I got quite used to the sort of the built-in body lean that Mazda puts in all their cars, and feel much more comfortable now just throwing it into different corners and just going out and having a good time. We also like to put it into sport mode quite often now and let her stretch her legs a little bit now that the engine's fully broken in. And yeah, just having a good time driving it on roads like this. You know, not getting too crazy, but watch this transmission. It will just hold the gear around that turn. Oh, it downshifts so easy. It doesn't even, you don't even have to beg it to downshift. So yeah, always love getting this out to drive and really appreciate it. Now, the only thing about driving it, I think I've mentioned this also in the review, is that if you live somewhere where you have terrible pavement, you know, man, make sure you test drive this car over rough pavement. We actually took a couple road trips to visit somebody who lived where the pavement was terrible, and yeah, it was, I could see where I would maybe reconsider given how stiff this car is. Now, the other good thing about this car that no rattles, no squeaks, no complaints at all on just the quality of the car so far. And I didn't really mention that. There's really, as far as build quality with this thing, absolutely no issues at all, other than that interior bit that I have pointed out. Again, I don't know if that's a build quality thing or what, but I got to get that fixed. But yeah, overall, really satisfied with the sort of overall quality of the car. Yeah, the other day I was in a brand new 2022 Toyota Camry, and you know, Camry is a car I do like. I think a lot of car folks turn their nose up at it, but I always enjoy Camrys when I have them. And you know, that Camry's starting to show its age. It was over bumps, it was kind of a little squeaky, a little, you could kind of feel the body flexing. So even yeah, so it just makes me appreciate how tight this Mazda 3 is. Now, we did get it in for our first service at 10,000 miles. We did have a little bit of a communication hiccup with our salesperson when we bought the car. They said, hey, your first service is complimentary. And I said, when is that? He said, 10,000 miles. So at 5,000 miles, we changed the oil ourselves and took it in for our 10,000 miles. And the service manager says, hey, you should have brought it in at 5. That would have been completely complimentary. So we got our wires crossed there a little bit. Anyway, they did the 10,000. It was complimentary also. And kudos to the dealer. They're giving us our 15,000 mile oil change for free because I mentioned the mix-up or the miscommunication. So big thumbs up to the dealer there. They rotated the tires, changed the oil, did inspections, no issues that they found, of course. Now, we did report our 2 things to them that I had mentioned in the last video. The first one is that every once in a while this Bose system would completely freak out, popping and hissing and crackling and just volume going crazy. It almost sounded like the amp was blowing or one of the speakers was blowing. It's extremely rare. I've been maybe 2 to 3 times it's done this. I did describe it to them to see if they had any record of or issues with the system doing that, and they said no, and I trust them on that. But they took me very seriously. They wrote a very detailed description and said, hey, if it does it again and you're nearby, just bring it right in immediately. We'll go out and take a look at it, because it really doesn't clear itself unless the car sits, unless you don't use the radio for a couple days. Well, he said record it with your phone. They would take that, and that'll give them a little bit of a clue on what they're dealing with. So really liked their response to that. The other thing I reported to them was this hissing noise in the steering. It's so subtle, I didn't think they were going to hear it, but they actually went for a test drive with me. They admitted they heard it, and then the mechanic gave a good once-over of the steering system and didn't find anything, of course. So what they did there is they took a good note of it. They said, look, we may want to keep the car for a couple days, so let's coordinate this in the future. And we already have it in the notes. And if you coordinate dropping off the car for a few days, we can give you a loaner, and we may be able to contact Mazda and have somebody come out with us. So I was extremely pleased with the fact that they didn't blow me off. It was the first time I've been to a dealer where you know, you're complaining about things that are hard to reproduce and they kind of blow you off. They took great notes and they took me seriously. And so all in all, I know Mazda's trying to go a little bit more premium, and I would have to say my first service visit for this Mazda was a very premium experience. We also took this on a couple trips over the summer and no complaints at all. It really did live up to everything I thought as far as seat comfort, quiet, enjoying the stereo system. Oh, and I should mention, you know, I mentioned the Bose kind of freaking out. So I'm trying to do my own little set of experiments here to figure out exactly what could be causing it. And I'm starting to be a little suspicious regarding Bose center point. The last time it did freak out, I did go in immediately and turn off center point, and I think it recovered. Again, I gotta be a little bit more methodical about how I'm doing this. So anyway, I should mention that I'm trying to figure out exactly what may be causing this, and I'm a little suspicious of the center point setting, even though I don't have it. I have it on setting 1 usually, or maybe 2. But anyway, that's just another thing to mention. But overall, trip comfort, super trip car thus far, and overall, again, no expenses, no issues with anything with the car. Great first service visit. So I'd have to say, guys, that my satisfaction with this 3 thus far has been very high, especially given how much fun it is to drive. And the interior, man, just love it, love it, love it, love the interior on all Mazdas, but I really like the comfort and interior and handling of this 3. Now, also still enjoying this Polymetal Grey paint. This car is absolutely filthy right now, and it always looks pretty good. So one nice feature of this Polymetal Grey is it doesn't show dirt too bad. Also, no real chips on the front here. Maybe one right here, chipped so far. One big oops though is right down here. If you can see this front spoiler is really low. And sure enough, I whacked it on one of those curbs in one of those parking lots. So gonna have to get that fixed. So something to be a little bit aware of. Now, the other thing we're gonna do in a couple weeks is try to put some winter protection on this. I really would like to put a ceramic coat on it myself. I'm a little leery of paint correcting, and I don't think it needs that, but you do have to get the paint clean and maybe clay bar it. So I don't want to put any more scratches. There are some swirls in this paint already. So again, let me know in the comments below what you're doing to protect your Polymetal Grey. Would love to hear from you. And we'll let you know what we end up doing. We'll put a video out on there on what we actually put on this car to protect it from the nasty winter stuff that's coming. So check out all of our other videos on our channel. We do have a few videos on this Mazda 3. I'll put the link right here in the video. I'll also put another video that I think you would enjoy. And we'll come back in another 5,000 miles and check in on how she is doing. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Thanks for clicking on this today, and have a great day, morning or evening, wherever you may be.